technical difficulties. I think you guys...
Hey, that's not part of your interview. That doesn't count.
My apologies. My time has been cutting short. You're doing really well. You're doing really well.
Thank you. I appreciate the affirmation. You are too.
Yeah, good.
Hey, there's a subscriber.
See,
That's
I
because of
told
you,
them
Braxton.
to do that. Oh, I also told them earlier.
did tell them.
Maybe it's so that we
Okay.
don't have any more of the TDs.
So you've been pretty interested in the local music scene for a little while, Braxton?
Yeah, it's definitely something as I've grown older as a teenager I've been really, really inspired by, especially as a musician myself. I was releasing music under my own name for a long time, and then I moved towards running gigs because I couldn't get gigs.
Oh,
That's the best way to do it.
You got to get yourself a Converse.
We were having a discussion in the car park about that. But so what first made you bought bands, got you interested in music when you went, geez, that sounds good, I'm into that?
Oh, so a lot of it came from Dad. He used to play a lot of gigs across southeast Queensland. He was in a lot of like pop punk bands when I was growing up.
Can I ask which ones?
Down and Out. That was the most notable one and the most recent one, I think.
Yeah. Let's go older than that. Let's go. I'm older than that. Because I was very into pop punk in the early 2000s and going to a lot of local shows.
Would you know Little Jody?
I know our little Jody. She's listening home right now. I remember seeing lots of stickers around for little Jody all around Brisbane.
Yeah, they were pretty heavy on the promotion for that.
Cool.
And then...
So, Dad's fault. It's always good to have someone to blame.
You could say that, but I'd just say, that's the groundworks of what was built up.
Yeah. And what musical instruments did you first take up?
Guitar when I was probably about 7. I saw Dad playing it. I'm like, I want to do that. So Dad went out to JB Hi-Fi one day and bought me like this $50 starter Montserrat guitar. It's actually really good. I still have it, albeit with a broken tuning peg. But and then I gave up because I'm like, this is not that easy. And I left it in my closet for 2 years. And then I picked it up one day because I had my I had my little emo moment when I was about 9. I was listening to Dear Maria, Count Me In by All Time Low.
That is a banging track. That is a banging track.
I agree. And I'm so annoyed that I didn't get to see them a few years back. And I'm like, wait, I have a guitar. I could do this. So I learnt the song, and then I'm like, oh, wow, this is actually really fun. And then I discovered drop tunings. And then... one thing led to another. I did that song on my school's talent show, and it was horrendous.
Amazing.
It's on my mum's Facebook somewhere. I'm not showing that to anyone ever, including my girlfriend.
Yeah, okay. We could probably go find it. We're pretty good at the internet.
Yeah,
Converse
we'll find it. Don't you worry. But
you won't.
Yeah, okay.
so back then, did you start raiding your parents' record collection and CDs and listening to that?
Well, pretty much soon after, just before I started playing the guitar again, a few years after I first got it, I got Spotify, and I was just listening to, because I remember growing up, I'd have everything playing in the car, from the Beatles to Katy Perry to Yellow Card to Panic at the Disco to Blink-182. There was so much of variety in what I would listen to, and I think that's really grown on me as a person. My earliest memory is, at least in my mum's car, is listening to Three Cheers to Sweet Revenge by My Chem. Because I didn't realise how symbolic that album would be, or that band would be in many people's lives, especially mine. It's also just a banging record.
Important question then. So for listeners who may not realise, you mentioned before you're a teenager.
Yes, I'm 17.
Very nice. And so you have been into local music for quite a while for someone that age. And that's super cool. But here's the thing. I'm feeling like the answer to this is going to be younger than most people. But what was the first gig you remember going to?
When I was 10, I saw Paul McCartney.
Oh! That is the best answer to that question I think I've ever had.
I've seen him twice now, which is super cool.
Did you go a couple of years ago?
I went in 2017 and then 2023.
I went in 2023, but I was not 10. when I saw Paul McCartney.
Oh, and then before that, if we're talking like really small local gigs, it was just seeing my dad play. It was actually a venue, I think, that shut down along Brunswick Street. I don't know if it was the brewery. No, it wouldn't be the brewery. But I know Shoreline's played a EP release show there.
Very
And I
nice.
think the Playbook also did a show there like years and years ago. And shout out to Stu Watts. He's incredible. He's a great drummer.
No, good. That's great. I mean, good to see. I mean, as 4ZZZ is turning 50 this year,
Really?
so it's good to see the youth still coming through on
The youth.
on 4ZZZ, not like these Polly and Danica who are really old.
Bit harsh.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm not sorry for tapping the desk at you.
But so, as you said, bit harder getting gigs underage, isn't it?
It's incredibly difficult. I think because most venues nowadays, or at least small venues that bands and small emerging artists can actually play, are pubs and clubs,
Yep.
which you need to be 18 to at least even step in. So, I remember like reaching out to my, I think it was my dad's friend at the time, because I used to run gigs at my school, basically. Shout out to Mr. Watson. He's the head of the creative arts department. Bless his soul. He let me use his performance space at school to run a few shows, and it was the second one we hosted, or we were planning to host, and we set up chairs for about 60 people. We planned a whole light show behind it. I got a backing band, and we set up chairs for about 60 people, as I said. 250 rowdy teenagers flooded P Block, which is our performing arts block, and I think a teacher got tackled, and then they had to shut the gig down.
They opened the pit.
Yeah.
I would not expect to be tackled at work. Actually, depends on the circumstance.
So obviously, you've dipped your foot into the promotion side of things.
Yes,
And sounds like you're pretty well established already. And
you could say that. I think a lot of it's just coming from trial and error. You take what you learn from school and you try to put it into the real world, and then you just copy what other people are doing. That's how a lot of things roll
Sounds
nowadays.
like life.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing for years.
so the next event you got coming up is in April.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, tell us a little bit about it.
So I'm running a free, including entry, food and drink, music festival, and it will be at CAPALABA SkatePARK, and it features 11 performances and like bands and solo artists from across Southeast Queensland, and all of them are under 25.
That's pretty good.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
What's the event called?
SkatePUNK.
makes sense.
Checks out, yeah. That checks out.
It's the second time we've run it now, which is super cool. Considering last year when we ran it, we pitched it to like local council for funding, and we had a really good representative go, yeah, we're pretty sure you'll get it, and then we didn't get it, so we had to run the entire festival off $1,300.
Gee.
And then this year, because we've actually done it, we have something to show that this was successful. You should get behind this. Now it's now officially a government-recognised Youth Week event on government calendars for Youth Week. It's being supported by Arts Queensland. We got Headspace CAPALABA, Rotary Club getting on board to put on a free barbecue, which is where we get the free food and drink from.
Nice.
As I said, Headspace, they're managing a second stage for solo acoustic acts and maybe some hip-hop. Yeah, it's super, super cool seeing, how big it's expanded from just, setting up a PA, a mic, and all your instruments and just going to town from there to this dual stage festival with like, it's insane. I'm even struggling to comprehend it still. And I'm the one organising it. So.
And Dead Trigger Records are involved, is that right?
That is correct. That's me.
Oh, you're Dead Trigger Records.
I'm Mr. Dead Trigger,
there you
that's
go.
correct.
There you go.
And so when's it take? What date is it?
14th of April 2025. It is the second Monday of the April school holidays.
All right, that sounds pretty cool. And what time does it start?
bands from 12, and we're finishing around 7 p.m.
All right, and off the top of your head, can you name the whole 11 acts?
I've got the list here. I'm going to check it off.
So we have Find a Way and Heatstroke headlining. We have Amphetamines, my band, Confess, Wits End, Space and Ages, Slim, Adam Malabade, Half is Eternal, Brax, also me, and Harper Thomas.
Oh,
Yeah, well done.
that's well done. I couldn't do that.
When you go around sharing flyers to everyone, you kind of need to memorize everything.
Yeah.
So CAPALABA Skate Park. What is transport like there? Do people catch the bus there?
So we're actually working on a transport guide. We're going to release it like the week leading up to. We did that last year, and I think that really, really helped getting people there. So basically, if you're coming from the Redlands, just get the 250 bus up to CAPALABA, and it's like a 5-minute walk. But if you're coming from, like, let's say Ipswich or the sunny coast or the north side, you basically just get the train to Roma Street, cross into the Cleveland line to get the train down to Birkdale. And I think the bus you take is like the 253 from the Birkdale train station down to CAPALABA. You literally stop out the front, like out on the other side of the road, and you just walk down.
But you'll put some information out on the Dead Trigger Records social media.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Cool. Awesome. Well, this sounds like a fun day.
I'm super, super excited. We've got a lot of cool stuff planned with this as well, which I'm super, super keen to eventually share.
Yeah.
Well, when you're ready, you let us know.
Yep. Always keen to promote them on the show. And, well, thanks again for coming in and having a chat with us this morning.
No dramas. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Should we hear from Find a Way?
I reckon we should.
Do it.
This song's called Chili Sauce. You're listening to 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. Thanks for coming in, Braxton.
No dramas.